weekend begins. If you're a driver in the midfield on the outside line into turn one, I'm sure you realise that this is going to be in the hands of your other party members as much as anybody else. The outside not the place to be really in turn one. Let's see if everybody makes it through. The first 20-minute race of the day begins now. Race 1 of 2 at Road America in the SIMGEAR GT3 Premier League begins. Through the fog comes our field of 42 cars. Everyone looking for a way to get through the first corner. Side by side still between Shopov and Rachev as they go through turn one. It's going to be Vladislav Shopov with the high ground, with the inside line that will lead it through turn two. Although Georgi Rachev still making a case for the outside line as they now power towards turn four. The Moraine sweep, barely a corner of course under the bridge there, towards turn five, and the former outside line for Rachev may be the inside going into T5. And look at Philip Koenig, he's right there as well. Oh, too deep into the corner I think went Rachev. Yes he did, he falls back into third position then. Rachev just too wide there. Vladislav Shopov then it is in the lead from Philip Koenig in second place. Then it's Rachev, then it's Thomas Marks Burgess in fourth position. Viktor Varbanov in fifth, and Boyko Shopov, well, he was in sixth, but he's actually just dropped down. Daniel Markov is up into sixth position. The JRS vertical grip Porsches are fighting there from fifth to seventh place. In fact, it's Varbanov, of course, in a Lamborghini for JRS vertical grip. Shopov and Markov sixth and seventh in their Porsches. 4 JRS vertical grip entries in the top 7. Vasil Yekov has made up 3 places already in the Audi, so he runs 12th position now. Actually make that 4 places he's gained now that he's up to P12. There is Yekov, in the midfield. He's looking to try and navigate back into the top 10, having taken that first podium that we talked to him about at the end of last week's broadcast. Rachinov in 15th position, just pursuing as the front engine cars getting in amongst it with Anton Stratiev. The two big beasts, the Mercedes-AMG GT3, naturally aspirated 6.2 litre motor in that one, and then of course the BMW utilising a 3-litre turbo. Two very different cars, but they're two of the biggest, most imposing shapes on the GT3 grid. P8 as well. Back to Bozdar Andreev, who has moved up past the AM class leader. Of course, Milchev has to be careful not to fall too far down. Some of the other AM protagonists are just a few cars away. He's fighting with the lower end pro class drivers at the moment, but the second BMW in that shot, the car of Stanchev, is the car that sits second in AM. So Milan Milchev only a couple of seconds clear of the AM battle. But look at this midfield, so close, side by side almost all the time. Really is a dog-eat-dog world in the mid-pack of this race. It's been a very tidy opening stanza of this race. We have had the odd incident further back, but in general, everybody being very respectful, very careful out there on the circuit, and that's exactly, of course, what we want to see. There is Varbanov. Once again, closing in on Burgess at the end of the straight. That Lamborghini, a slipperier shape, lower drag coefficient. Quicker towards the end of the straight, certainly, but not quick enough to get past Thomas Marks Burgess just yet. Board, Julian. Varbanov then has gotten past Burgess, but only briefly. He got through off camera, and then we see a mistake just a matter of moments later. Varbanov through, and then immediately he loses positions. He got the inside line into turn 5. That was nicely done, fairly well executed, but then just a corner later, he put a foot wrong, and he now finds himself down in 6th place with Markov just behind him. under the rear wing of the Lamborghini, ready to strike if half an opportunity strikes. We get a look back at Ivaylo Dimitrov, who certainly ended up carrying some damage at Portimao, and a sideways moment coming through Canada corner, rather more sinister incident. Oh, a big moment for Serafimov. Oh, he gets collected. That was the fear. He went back across the circuit, took out one of the BMWs. And for Serafimov, that was a major, major impact. And unsurprisingly, with a tyre gone from the car, his race comes to an end, collected. One of the BMWs was involved. That was Vladimir Mavrodiev. We also saw another of the Chekhov rally cars getting into it there. Roban Skelton reversing with Ivaylo Dimitrov. That's quite an absurd sight. And, oh, yep, they found each other. Oh, dear. Well, here's your lead battle then. And Philip Koenig looks like he's got the bit between his teeth. Very quick through the last couple of sectors. And as Shopov's pace starts to drop away, Koenig seems to be just as quick as he has been all race. Maybe he's been preserving his tyres a little more. Georgi Rachev is also there and in the slipstream in the Lamborghini, which is always quick towards the end of these long straights. So he could be a factor as they run towards turn 5 as well. There is your leading trio. Aren't we in for a treat? We've got less than 7 minutes, or just over 7 minutes of this race left to go. Shopov has been leading the entire way, but Koenig has now rolled his sleeves up, and Georgi Rachev is right there with them. He's fallen out of the top 10. And we're getting a replay of why. Markov at the kink. Too much curb. And that sent him off stage right. So easy to get, really illustrating just how much quality and depth there is on the SIMGEAR GT3 Premier League grid. There goes Andreev. Oh, goodness me, but an obstacle in the form of the number 9 car. And that's why you don't slow down that much, because sometimes you're out of the way, other times you find yourself in the way, and I think that's what happened there to Bozidar Andreev. The most impressive gains are actually from 25th place man Konstantin Kirchev, who started 40th and now runs 25th. He's just been inheriting spots and staying out of trouble. Vasil Chekhov, though, for the Chekhov Rally School, and showed me some clips of the Rally School over the last couple of days. In the slipstream then of Markov. Markov fighting off this battle for 16th place. Ivanov has, of course, gotten past the Manti liveried car of Andreev after the earlier dramas. Ivanov trying to find a way around the outside there. He couldn't get it done. Andreev senses an opportunity to maybe try and fight back of who gets the right run through the corner. But here, still very close, is the battle for 5th and 6th positions. It's still very close at the front of the order as well. Koenig right on the back of Shopov. Viktor Varbanov wanting to get into the top 5. Koenig going to make the lunge, or is he going to think title and wait this one out? It looks like for now he is just biding his time, but who knows? There's still quite a few deep braking zones on this lap. Road America doesn't want for overtaking opportunities. There are certainly enough of them strewn across the layout here at Elkhart Lake. And right on board once again with Shopov as Koenig closes in under braking. Georgi Rachev, of course, willing to play the spoiler if Koenig has a go and it doesn't work. Georgi Rachev will gladly inherit one position. He'll gladly inherit the win if the opportunity takes him. Koenig with the aero wash there, losing a bit of time to Shopov through the carousel. They now speed through the kink towards Canada corner for the final time. It looks as if Vladislav Shopov may have done enough here as they power out of Canada. Just 3 more apexes. The 29 car, Vladislav Shopov, has put in a very well-managed race from the front of the pack. He comes across the brow of the hill, and Vladislav Shopov will be presented the checkered flag. Philip Koenig right there with him, but has to settle for second place. Georgi Rachev taking third position. Milen Milchev, it does look as though we've lost the Mansai liveried Porsche, though, from that scrap. Bozidar Andreev has fallen down the order, and I think maybe even retired from the race. Yes, he has. So Andreev had a drama on the final lap. Krastin Stanchev will cross the line further back in the field, 24th place, but your winner in AM, the other BMW of Milen Milchev, in 19th position. The AM driver within the top 20. Now we're getting a look back. Alexander Nikolov tagging the rear of the 131 BMW of Milen Milchev on the very last lap of the race. Nikolov, who was challenging him for the AM lead at that point, unfortunately had to settle for second in class. Radian Ivanov has come to a halt out there. This is still on read. They round the final corner then in 2x2 formation. It's Georgi Atanasov and Rostislav Kochev who will be looking to capitalize from the front row of the grid. It's Atanasov with pole position on the inside line, of course. He will have the high ground into turn one. Can he use that to its intended effect? The red lights go out and we're racing the 40-minute meter in the SIMGEAR GT3 Premier League. They head down towards turn one through the haze, and who is it going to be leading? It looks like we've got a challenger from row two. Yes, Julian Janowski there trying to get to the inside. There are cars skittling everywhere, all manner of contact, an instant accident going on. Many of our front runners have been wiped out in that one. The leaders from the previous race, among those collected, Georgi Rachev just about managed to get through. Vasil Yekov did as well, but Vladislav Shopov among those collected. A lot of cars will be carrying damage. And look at the top 8 or 9 cars, so far away from everybody else because of what's happened there in at the first corner. We saw a few cars going straight across the grass on the inside. It's Georgi Atanasov then in the lead. Julian Janowski in second place with Connor Brown in the Ferrari right there with him. But Brown under pressure from Rostislav Kochev, Thomas Marks Burgess and co at the moment, but Burgess goes into the wall. Burgess runs out of road and he falls out of the top 10. Thomas Marks Burgess then will now have a lot of work to do, and he might have a damaged Porsche with which to do it. Drama, drama, and more drama still on the first lap of the race. Philip Koenig among those collected as well, the championship leader, down in 38th position at the moment. So he's one of those that was collected in the accident. A lot of our front runners were taken out there. The drivers that were fighting it out for the victory in the previous race. Philip Koenig falling through the order could change the championship complexion significantly at the end of this race. Georgi Atanasov, race leader, ahead of Janowski, ahead of Brown. Rostislav Kochev in fourth position, and Georgi Rachev managed to move all the way up to fifth place over the course of this lap. He's been making up some positions, and he is now in a very, very strong position as the only driver on last race's podium to still be there in the position that we were expecting him to be. Kochev here to the inside of Connor Brown. Brown trying to stick with it on the outside line, does carry good speed there through turn three. The two Lamborghinis of Rachev and Varbanov are right there behind them as they go side by side through turn four and towards turn five. Now Connor Brown with the inside line, a bit slower in a straight line seemingly than the Porsche, and sure enough Kochev does get a nose ahead, but Brown holds on around the inside. Rachev trying to follow him through as well. Brown still holding on to that third position. The 47 car then finally. And here's a replay of the 26 Ferrari, and one of the Audis just skiddling across the grass. Another of the Audis going into the first corner backwards, and there you see effectively positions 9 through 19 collected all in unison there. Only a few drivers managed to make it through from that kind of lower front end of the order. You get another replay of it there, and many collisions. And Koenig actually had a moment of his own, didn't he, as well, in addition to everything else going on. To the inside then comes Georgi Ratchev, and he moves up to 4th position. It's looked like Kochev was not probably going to be able to hold off Ratchev for too long, and sure enough, Georgi is up into 4th place. Georgiev also up there. We're getting a look at Milen Milchev having a moment. So Milchev, I'm pretty sure, was tagged in that first corner melee. Following Stratiev at the moment. It looks like Shopov has really good pace. He doesn't seem to have any damage of any sort. He's climbing through the order, or climbing towards the battle gainfully at the moment, but now he's got to try and find his way past. He goes around the outside of Stratiev for P8, tries to get the run, of course, on the outside coming out of turn 3, as that will be the inside by the time they get to the next braking zone. That is turn 5. Stratiev for Jekov Rally School Impulse Racing's Vladislav Shopov to the inside. Gets it done fairly nicely there. I think the position should be his, although Stratiev does a good job finding traction out of the corner on the outside. They go under the bridge, and through has gone Vladislav Shopov. He's up 2 places from his starting position, but he's had to do a lot of work to get back into this battle. That's last time. Not sure that he was, but Georgi Ratchev there through into 3rd place. So he's managed to sneak up behind Brown in the Ferrari, and he's moved up into P3. Connor Brown losing out then to the defending Premier League champion, Georgi Ratchev. Wojko Shopov there defending against Vladislav Shopov, and that's put Anton Stratiev back into contention there in the back of shot. You see there Stratiev just hounding the rear of Shopov again. It looked like Vladislav might have found a way past Wojko, but instead he had no momentum coming out of that corner, and Anton Stratiev back to the rear of this scrap at the moment, although Stratiev losing time, slowing down a lot actually. Now what's going on with Stratiev, because that was quite a lot slower through the kink. Now side by side with Jekov. That was quite strange from Stratiev. I didn't see anything go too amiss there. Maybe I missed something while I was looking at the timing screen, but Pavel Ivanov there in 11th place as well. Rodiev, in fact, those two are having a very exciting battle at the moment as we cut to that turn 3. Vodenicherov then just about ahead for now, but the big BM certainly trying to monster the Porsche by the looks of it. They're swapping positions once more. Mavrodiev with a nose ahead. The Ferrari of Lazar Kaczarski watching on as well. Wojko Shopov still trying to make his car as wide as possible to try and stave off Vladislav Shopov, who has closed in once again. Pace advantage clear to see for Shopov, as Vodenicherov again still fighting for this 3rd place, and Am still fighting to try and come out of this with his Am title lead intact. And that was a little bit of contact between them. That was a bit too close for comfort. Kaczarski looking to see if he can find a way through. No move made. Janowski then following in the wheel tracks of Janowski, rather, being followed by Ratchev now. Ratchev has closed in on the top 2, so Georgi Atanasov at the front of now a 3-car battle at the front of the order, and Connor Brown isn't too far off being closed in either, so we could have a 4-car fight for the lead before long. It seems as though the pace of Atanasov and Janowski is starting to drop, and certainly Georgi Ratchev is looking very, very feisty. Ratchev, I think, could be the spoiler in all of this, as Boyko Shopov has been dispatched now by Vladislav. So Shopov up to 7th place on Shopov, Vladislav up to P7. Georgi Ratchev with the straight line speed, slight edge in this Lamborghini, especially towards the end of the straights. Janovsky losing out there. He's got a nose ahead, does Ratchev, that we ride on board with, and he converts that into 2nd place. Fairly clean stuff there. Made that look easy. And Ratchev up to P2 then. All out wide goes Georgi Atanasov, and that hands the lead to Ratchev. Ratchev makes up 2 places in 2 corners. Georgi Ratchev then is the leader. Julian Janovsky sent his opportunity and dives to the inside for 2nd place as well. He wants to try and pursue Georgi Ratchev if he possibly can. But Atanasov has gone from 1st to 3rd in a matter of moments there. And towed all the way up the hill, pulls alongside. Does the Porsche have the edge over the Ferrari once the Ferrari is out of the slip? They look about even. Is Connor Brown going to be brave enough on the brakes into turn 1? Yes, he is. Nicely done by Connor Brown. Viktor Varbanov closing in on them as well. So Varbanov is looking for his opportunity, for his pound of flesh in this battle. Georgi Ratchev then, to recap, is your race leader now over Julian Janovsky. We've then got this exciting scrap for 3rd place, currently headed by Connor Brown. Viktor Varbanov drawing alongside Georgi Atanasov, who was the leader a lap ago. He's now down to 5th position. JRS vertical grip machines on the podium at the moment. We have a look here at the Porsche of Alexander Tzakov. And that was a little bit clumsy. Tried to dive to the inside of Shadov in the top 10. Varbanov, meanwhile, having gotten past Atanasov, he now wants to try and do the same to Connor Brown. He's got the inside line for Canada. And that Lamborghini looking very well sorted and very fast. Brown might now lose out to Atanasov as a result. Velivanov trying to go around the outside of Jekov in the Audi. Through the turn 13, very difficult to go too wide through there. And best seat in the house for Yordanin Svetanov. He's watching on, and Ivanov as well. And that Mercedes looks very quick towards the end of those straights as we look back further to Alexander Nikolov, who of course went skating across the grass at turn 1 at the very start of this race. Still bearing the scars from that, but not too far down the order. Fighting now for 22nd, and contact there. One of them getting a replay here of Ratchinov getting tagged into the gravel. He'll have done well to avoid any barriers. Yeah, he's not avoided any barriers. That was a big, big hit. Kochev is the driver ahead of him. Kochev going defensive into turn 1. He's already staked his claim to the inside about half a kilometre before they even get to the first corner. Shopov goes around the outside then, carries the speed nicely. Bit of a kick up of the dust there, but should still have the outside line through turn 3, and of course given a good run out of this corner, which he gets. He may well have been able to carve up through the order together if things had gone differently, but the cards have fallen as they have. And there's still a lot of time to go in this 40-minute race. We are approaching half. Here is Dramaliev. Of course, there is no Toyota within GT3, so these Castrol liveries have to go somewhere. Gran Turismo kids have to get their representation on iRacing. Mercedes, I think, is a little bit further down. Serafimov is side by side, however, with Joris Ooms. Serafimov started this race well down the order, almost in 40th position at the start of the race, but holds on to 22nd for the time being as Joris Ooms pursues. And you see that Alexander Sakov also involved for Ace Racing. Here's what I've been talking about all day, that Lamborghini towards the end of the straight, just looking so strong. And sure enough, it does look very easy, doesn't it? The number 12 car gets through then. It's a JRS vertical grip Lamborghini Huracan 1. You get a replay of Markov getting tagged there by the 81. That was a little bit clumsy between Markov and Svetanov. They still run 15th and 16th, but will have lost some time there. Stanchev has moved up to 14th overall, as Sakov now looking for a way past Vodenicherov, who has dropped a few positions so far. Vodenicherov, oh, they make contact. They meet at the middle at turn 3. Sakov, I think quite lazily there, left the nose in. Wasn't really far enough alongside. And has ended up, oh, and rejoins just ahead of another of the Porsches there. That was Daniel Markov, wasn't it? In fact, no, it wasn't. But regardless, Sakov hindering there. It was Robin Skelton, I think. Nonetheless, that was a bit of a dodgy rejoin, and it was indeed Robin Skelton who got caught out there. He goes to the inside of the 131 BMW. That car is away down the order, a couple of laps off the lead, I think. Here comes Vladislav Shopov then. He's looking for a podium. Julian Janovsky leaves the inside open. I think he knows that maybe this is going to be a hard fight. Janovsky tries to get the power down, though, out of turn 5, and he does so. Interesting how you're able to take that outside line around this circuit at quite a few places. And it leaves these wonderful side-by-side situations, and I thought they were going to make contact there. Very close from front to rear of the two cars. Shopov to the inside for third place, though. As they approach the carousel, he's got the job done. Connor Brown would like a piece of this as well as he approaches the rear of Janovsky. It looks to me as though with Rachev, Varbanov and Shopov now in the top 3, Connor Brown would do very well to move up beyond 4th place, but with Shopov going wide there, anything's possible. Janovsky trying to go around the outside of the kink. That's never going to work. Both Porsches off the circuit. Connor Brown goes through, says, okay, thank you very much. Janovsky and Shopov still side by side. Drama, 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 and 2 damaged cars. Georgi and Atanasov just behind them as well. He could capitalise here on these 2 wounded cars after they found the barriers. You can see some damage on Shopov's car. Doesn't look like it's too much on Janovsky's, but both off the circuit, both colliding. You've got a fast Ferrari behind them who is a lap down. Georgi Atanasov, though, is most assuredly not a lap down. He's going to the inside of Julian Janovsky for 5th place then. Again, how things change in a lap. Well, Janovsky was 3rd a lap ago. He's now having to try and stave off Georgi Atanasov for that 5th position. Marks Burgess. Impulse with 3 cars in the top 10. JRS Vertical Grip also have 2 cars in the top 10. Burgess maybe carrying a little bit of red mist, and what could have been situation. He's on the outside at 6, and he's not given much room at all there by Anton Stratiev, and they collide. And for the 2nd time in this race, Marks Burgess finds the wall. Turn 7, he was not really given much room by Anton Stratiev there, coming out of 6. I don't know that Stratiev can really validly point the blame at Thomas Marks Burgess, whose car looks like he's now crabbing quite heavily. Both cars will have been severely damaged there. Some way to helping out Kochev. Kochev, who I think had an unremarkable first appearance of the season. Rostislav powers out of the corner then. Podium rounded out in AM by Lazar Kaczarski, as we saw there. Vasil Zhekov under a lot of pressure from Michal Velikov. Further back in the pack, Roy Vivek still trying to move his way towards the top 20. Going defensive there is the 23rd place car of Parvanov. Oh, Vivek there into the wall going into Canada. fired off under braking. Rejoins just ahead of our race leader, Georgi Ratchev, who's picking his way through the traffic expertly. Vasil Jekov holding off Michal Velikov for the time being, at least. Through turn one they go. 3 minutes left on the clock as well, so time is certainly running out. I believe this will be the penultimate lap of the race. We'll see when Ratchev crosses the line, but I think that will be the case. Here comes the Mercedes. Velikov again looking strong in a straight line. He's got the inside line for turn 5. Will he move into the top 10? Answer is yes. Jekov just too deep into the corner. There you see as well Koenig still out there on the circuit. He's in 37th place and some 5 laps off the lead after his damage, incidents and accidents through this race. So Koenig down in 37th is speed in his favour now. We look back to Vivek in the Porsche with the race leader just coming up behind him. Oh, Ratchev being pushed off the circuit. No, sorry, that's Varbanov. But nonetheless, Varbanov in second place, pushed into the gravel on the final lap. Luckily for him, Connor Brown is too far back to capitalise, but that will have been less than popular. 10. Georgi Ratchev is going to get a full haul of points from this race. And with it, he's going to put himself in a very good position in the championship as well. Coming into this weekend, he was 3rd in the points. Or rather, sorry, he was 6th in the points. He's now going to be up there right at the sharp end after misfortunes for others. Georgi Ratchev has succeeded and he wins in the feature race here at Road America, the SIMGEAR GT3 Premier League, and the Season 7 champ is back up at the sharp end in Season 8 once more. Velikov then still trying to find his way through and the final corner. You can see him trying to get a good run through the corner. He's not getting a better run though than Jekov. He may well try and drag past. It is going to be a drag race, but I don't think he's going to be close enough. It's very, very, very close as they come towards the line. Oh, that was a dead heat. And who did it go to? It just about, by 0.008 of a second, went to Vasil Jekov. Out the top 20 in this race. We get a replay once again of Radian Ivanov struggling in almost exactly the same way that he did previously. As it is again Ivalo Dimitrov, his reserve racing teammates, that is charged with trying to push the Audi across the line. This is bizarre. I can't say I've seen this before. Are they just going to wait? Are they just going to park? What's going on? Dimitrov, is he thinking of abandoning his teammates? Radian Ivanov might get a push from the Ferrari, or he might... What's going on? This is most bizarre. Answers on a postcard. There is, I think. Is that the leading car? Yes, it is. And Ratchev celebrating with a flourish. Not red line a 5.2 V10 for too long. America, and again, the salvage job continues. Has he got the handbrake on? Ratlen Ivanov, with plentiful people wanting to help him across the line, but doesn't seem the Audi wants to cross the line. Maybe he's got some suspension damage or something. You can see the Porsche smoking its tyres, trying to push the Audi. Ivo Serafimov and Alexander Nikolov, I believe this is, finally getting the Audi rolling. The 37 car will get to take the flag then, very, very much later than anyone else. Or maybe they'll push him straight into the pits. That might be better for everyone's sake. Well, Certainly an obscure way to end the race, no? Ivo Serafimov powering the Audi home. And they're going to have him cross the line by the looks of it. They're not going to direct him straight to pit road. And there you go. Our last finisher finally across the line then. Radlen Ivanov. 34th place ultimately for him on his first appearance of the season. And he has now been registered as a finisher.